This video will demonstrate searching biological abstracts for biological information to make you more efficient in your searches, and we'll also give a quick overview of the McNairy Library Biology Guide. I'm Melissa Gold. I'm the science librarian here on campus. You might notice my picture in the upper right part of the screen. If you haven't met me in person, now you at least know what I look like. Please keep in mind that at any time, if you have more questions, you can ask a librarian, or I'll show you some other ways that you can get help through the library. We're going to access biological abstracts from the library webpage, which is the best way to go about it so it knows that you're a Millersville student. On our library homepage, you'll notice again, there's lots of ways to ask a librarian. You can also go to our channel or find information in the FAQs under the Tools and Services menu. If you want to access biological abstracts directly, you can find it on the Articles and Databases page under the Finding Information menu. Today, we're going to go through the biology guide. So we're going to go down to Research Guides under the Finding Information menu. You'll notice that these guides are organized by subject. If you scroll down, you can see the biology section. And today, we're going to access the specific biology, just general page. On the biology guide, you'll notice that it's divided into various sections. So there's a section on just finding articles, finding books, finding botanical information, citations, and you'll also notice that there's a nice little section with all my contact information. So the biology guide is a great place to bookmark and return to throughout your time at Millersville in biology, and we'll link you directly to my contact information. You can also schedule an appointment with me directly from this page. You'll also notice that there's a Getting Started section. These are where I've placed just the top 2 resources that if you do not know where to start, these are great places to start. Everything else on this page is also great and are handpicked by me to be resources, databases that should help you throughout your time with biology. So if you click on biological abstracts, once there, you'll see the database. And it may look a little different than it has before if you've used it before. The interface has changed, but pretty much all the same features are still there. Biological abstracts is a great place to start for biological resource because that's all that's in here, and it is pretty comprehensive of covering many different topics at a really deep level. So we're going to start with a simple search that you might try. So we're interested in looking up something about Drosophila. You might remember that from high school. It's a great experimental organism because it reproduces really quickly, aka the fruit fly. So the database is suggesting that we use some of these terms. Keep in mind, these are just what other people searched. They're not actually necessarily correct terms, but I do know that Drosophila melanogaster is the appropriate name, genus, species for the organism that I want. So I'm going to run a search. You'll notice that we come up with over 48,000 results. That is too many results. I generally say that you should only come up with a couple hundred. And that's because it's not that we have so much that's generally helpful in your research about this topic. It's that you were not specific enough. Scientific research is very specific. So these give us all types of articles about any topic about Drosophila. We actually need to refine our search or filter it and be more specific. One way you can be more specific is by adding another search term. So I'm going to add behavior because I'm really interested in things that the fruit fly does, not its biology, not its DNA, but its behavior. You can also go back to that advanced search and select a field to search within. Right now, it's looking through the whole article. So even if Drosophila is not the main topic, it would still bring it up. So a couple of things you can search within that might be useful. The title, if the article is titled with that, it's probably pretty relevant. Abstract is a slight bit broader, so I'm going to try that. Remember that an abstract is what an article is about. So if those terms are in there, it's probably pretty closely related to what you want. So we're down to 2,000 results, which is getting better, but we still have more work to do. So you can also look at the different database filters up on top of the screen underneath the search box. You can limit by time. So if you're only interested in the most recent information, you can select one of these. You can also look at the source type or where it's coming from. So you'll notice that in this case, we only have 2 academic journals and books. Most of this database is academic journals, as you'll see. So you could limit to that, but that's not going to help too much. I'm going to also recommend that you do not filter by linked full text. All this does is limit you to just the articles that we have immediate access to. And we can actually get articles very quickly from other libraries. And you really want the most relevant research, not what's immediately accessible. We can get articles from other libraries within 48 hours or less, usually within a couple hours. So generally don't pick this unless you're in a really, really, really tight time crunch. You can also click on all filters to see what other options you have. Subjects, again, are even more descriptive about what the article is about. You can also see them right here below each sort of article abstract and description. Those can often help you think of more terms to search with, or you can also click on them as links. So in looking through my results, I'm sort of brainstorming maybe what kind of behavior I might be most interested in. And I see one that mentions social interaction. So I'm going to add that as another search term in my search. And I'm going to make that an abstract search as well and rerun my search. So now we're down to only 63 results, and that's really good. So you can start to then look through that result set and maybe decide which articles you're most interested in. When you look through these articles, what you'll see on the screen is you have the title in bold is first, and that's the title of the journal article. Then you will have an abstract below. If you click show more, it will show you the whole abstract, which is a good way to decide if you really want to read that article. Then you're going to have the subjects, which we talked about. Published in will list the journal title as well as the journal publication date. Databases, biological abstracts, which is where we are. And then the by is going to have all of the authors listed. If you click on an article title, you'll get that information kind of separated out a little bit more. You'll get a little bit more information about the article, including taxa, some other things. But what I really want to show you is that there are a lot of tools available from this page that can help you save this article or use it later on. So you can save it to the cloud, which will save it over into your saved folder, basically, on EBSCO that you can access from anywhere, and you can access that, you'll see in the left menu of the page. You can also get some citation help, but typically in your classes, you are going to use the CSE style, which is not here. It's closest to APA. If you wanted to copy and paste that citation information, you could, but you must change it to meet the requirements of your assignment and course. You can also add to a project, which is more for long-term projects. This share also gives you lots of ways to save it to your Google Drive, your OneDrive, or you can create a link that will get you back to this page and or the article, or you can send to somebody else. You can also email it to yourself. Lastly, there is just a download button as well. That was just a quick overview of how you can find things in biological abstracts. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask a librarian or contact me directly. You can also check out more videos on our channel. There will also be one about selecting scholarly and peer-reviewed sources specifically.